back to my channel. You're watching CTV. My name is Calandra and I'm back with another video. And today I just want to clear the air, okay? Because I want to talk about some stuff that may or may not have been misconstrued. Not by you guys, but anyone who has watched, where the jewelry at? Hold on. There we go. Anybody that has watched any of my past videos talking about introvertness, is that a word? I just be saying things, but I talked about how I'm an introvert and how that has affected me growing up. But am I still an introvert? Because I pretty much talked about being an introvert when I was like a kid, right? But what caused me to be an introvert, and am I still considering myself an introvert? Because I think there's a thing called antisocial extrovert, okay?
Here's a quick definition before I continue the video. If you need more time, please pause the video.
And that describes me today. And I wouldn't say today, I think that's how I always been. Like, okay, for example, I'm gonna give y'all some examples of my personality, okay? I can come off, and also, it's gonna be a fight mukbang. Not really. I just want to finish my food from yesterday. Not the other day, yesterday. We got good stuff yesterday. The Vietnamese chicken wings from Lakeside Pho and Grill, I think. So it's not gonna be as good as it was yesterday, but let me tell you, be nice and crispy, flavorful, like one of the best chicken wings I had. You might still hear a little crunchy crunch, but like I said, I got them yesterday. Time of the month, TMI. My appetite was like acting funny, so I'm not really hungry until now. Anyway, some examples is I do like to go out. And it doesn't matter what it is, just whatever I'm in the mood for. I go out for a coffee date. I can go to brunch. I can go to the club. I can go to the beach, the park. You know, I'm a very open-minded person. It's another word I'm trying to use for it, but I like to do multiple things. I could go shopping. I love going out. I love going out with friends. But after a while, I get drained. And I only like to do stuff when it's worth it. Like if I feel like I'm not gonna like what I'm doing, I'm gonna have a bad time, or it's gonna be weird energy, I don't wanna do it. It sounds like anybody, but me, I do get drained by being around people too long. I don't like staying at people's houses. I don't like being around people longer than I need to. And I can be without going out for a minute. Like, I don't need to talk to my friends every single day. I don't need to talk to my family every single day. I love being alone. I love being alone. I love my solitude. I love quiet. If I'm not listening to music, I will just talk to myself. I know it's weird, but I like that. You know what I mean? Like, about like what I gotta do next, what I need to do. Or just be in silence. And I got some peppers. I love my peace. I don't like drama, especially when it's me being in drama. I'm not loud and I'm pretty reserved. I don't really tell people my business. I don't say a lot. Also, I just don't say a lot. I don't even know what to say to people. And people think I'm probably short, boring with my personality. But I'm very direct. That's the thing. Like, I'm just very direct when I talk to people and to the point. If the vibes are there, then yeah, I would like, you know, I hold conversation. But Usually when I talk to people on a day-to-day basis, I'm just very direct. But sometimes I just don't know what to say. Not really nervous, but like, I don't know what it is. I don't be knowing what to say to people sometimes. I don't really like small talk. Like, to go, what you doing? How was your day? How you doing? It's like, I didn't all those participate in some form of small talk because, like, okay, you at work, you know, you're gonna speak to your coworkers, your boss, you know, you're gonna be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. How's life? Blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. I've been wanting to talk about deep stuff, but I don't be knowing who to really open up to. Like, people these days are just shiesty, evil, don't really fuck with you. And introverts can pick up on that type of stuff. 9 out of 10, we can I like to observe people. I don't like to just come up in the room being the loudest one and being blind to stuff. Just observe. But yeah, that's my personality. You know, I'm outgoing. I have a wild side. Especially it comes out, you know, of course when I'm drinking or something like that. I don't really drink like that. I just feel like drinking alcohol is pointless if you're just staying in the house or you're not doing anything. Because when I'm under the influence of alcohol, I want to be everywhere. Like, I want to have fun. I want to hear music. I want to dance. I want to just be everything that the regular day-to-day Calandra isn't really like. Like, not saying I'm not like that, but it's just the real me, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, alcohol brings out your true personality or some shit like that. But yeah, that's drunk me. And alcohol is not my substance of choice. Actually, the green stuff is. But, you know, when you're under the green stuff, it's like, you really don't want to talk to people. You really don't want to talk to people. I don't know what it is. It's just, under the green stuff, I be chilling. And most people who participate in 420 activities will know what I'm talking about. But, alright, that sums up my personality. Antisocial extrovert. Hopefully y'all understand. Which I do consider that still kind of introverted because I already explained it. If you can't catch up on what I'm saying, then I don't know. I really don't know. Go back to school. Anyway, a little background info about me. I had strict parents growing up, and I'm not saying my parents just completely just kept me locked up, but you know what I'm saying? It was just hard to do stuff. Like, it was hard to go to people's houses. It was hard to go outside. It was just hard to do certain things. Like, they kind of just wanted me to focus on school or focus on playing my instrument or just be a kid. No, they kind of just, I guess I had the type of parents that just didn't want to accept that I'm growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of want to keep you as a kid when you're not a kid. It's weird because, like, parents with us, like, they want you to grow up. Like, they want you, when it comes to certain things, they're like, you're too old to be doing this. But then at the same time, you're just a child, stay in a child's place. But whatever, like, y'all get what I'm saying. So, you know, my friends were a little bit different. Like, every friend I had, like, they could do a little bit more things, or they just did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really rebellious like that. You think people with strict parents would, you know, be rebellious or whatever. Which, I mean, I was to a certain extent. Just to a certain extent. Like, sometimes I would do certain things that I was supposed to be doing, like most kids. But usually, you know, I was good. I didn't want to upset my parents. So, you know, I try to be the best kid I could be. Anyway, you know, my friends in the neighborhood at the time, it's like, oh yeah, you never go out that much, or you don't do that much, or your parents never let you do this and do that, or You know what I'm saying? Because they love to be outside. Like, they were outside, And, it just made me feel isolated. Like, it just felt like my friends were always doing things that were like 10 steps ahead of me. Like, they were just living life, and I was just kind of sheltered, and that's what it felt like. And I felt like I just didn't know how to socialize. I just felt really like I was awkward, didn't know how to really hold a conversation, have friends, know what to say. And it caught up to me, like, kids, would treat me a certain way. I would get bullied, I would get picked on. And it's just like, why are you so quiet? Why are you so quiet? Why are you so quiet? But, when people are picking on you and making you feel like, you don't belong and you're not socially accepted, why would you, like, it stripped me from my personality. I let it strip me from my personality. Of course, like, I could have turned up on people, but I just didn't have it in me at the time. And it's just like, it was one of them things where it's like, damned if I do, damned if I don't. Like, if I don't say nothing, people didn't like me. If I did say something, people didn't like me. So it's just like, what do I do? What is a girl to do? Like, if I did talk, people would just treat me like I'm weird or whatever. Like I said, I'm very direct, I guess. Like, and then I just didn't know what to say to people. And I guess people catch on to that. When they see that, oh, you don't show much of your personality, they feel like it's easier to pick on you because it's like, you're not going to do anything, you're not going to say anything, you don't even know yourself. So of course I could tell you about yourself all damn day. And that's what it felt like growing up, especially, around my bullies, even my so-called friends. Like, they would even, say certain things to me or make me feel a certain type of way or leave me out of stuff a lot of times, which I talked about one-sided friendships already. But, I just felt like the lame friend, I guess, like the last person that people wanted to hang out with, or the last one people wanted to talk to, the one that was like the quiet one, the one that wasn't as cool or whatever. Wow. My friends were just more experienced, like, or being known around the school, I was just known as the quiet one or whatever people would say about me. So, as I got older, as I started to learn more about myself, it's a certain way that you want to be as a person, only but so long. And I didn't like, high school and middle school. I didn't like, how my time was. I felt like as a teenager, I thought things were going to be different. And I thought I would have more friends. I thought, like, things would be, like, more fun. I don't know how to explain it, but it just wasn't a good vibe overall. And I feel like I just wasn't comfortable enough in high school to bring out my personality. And I didn't want to be like somebody's shadow or just be the background person forever. That's not, I want to shed my own light into the world. I don't want to just be known as somebody's friend, wife, whatever. Like, it's more to me than that. And people just don't get, like, people I feel like don't give me the chance, or I haven't given myself the chance, because a lot of us introverts just don't do it. We don't do it. We don't have the energy to do it. We don't have the capacity to do it, especially to people who honestly don't deserve it. Like, you want to criticize me, and then people just want to talk. Like, people just wanted to talk to me. Honestly, I felt like when certain people would talk to me in school, I feel like they would just talk to me to kind of pick my brain as to why I am the way I am, or why people say this or that about me, instead of rather getting to know me, or rather hearing me out and seeing what kind of person I am. I just felt like people would, like, say certain things to kind of pick at me, Or you know how people just ask like ask shady questions? Like, just an example. Do you have a fun life? I guess somebody asked me about that, like, how's my everyday life? Like, am I just a boring person that doesn't do anything? Like, it would be questions like that that people would ask me. So that's why I just didn't feel comfortable, you know, being a peer in middle and high school. Like, it stripped me away from my personality a lot, like a lot, because I don't know, it just felt like I didn't have anything in common with anybody. I just went to school, went home, you know, I was just in tune with just being a kid, like just going through the motions kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it, but I was just like getting through it. Like, I know I had to go to school and I didn't want to be miserable. So, you know, I befriended people whether they were good for me or not, because like I didn't want to be known as a person that was always by themselves, because I would have those moments where my friends would treat me a certain way. Like I said, you know, I was that one disposable person in the group or disposable person in my friendship. So I would spend time by myself. And when I did, it's like people would look at me like I'm a specimen, like I'm crazy, like, and ask me like, why are you by yourself, or why are you not talking to nobody? But I don't feel accepted anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I do. But getting older, I realized, you know, it's a reason why I'm like that. It's a reason why most introverts, you know, are the way that they are, because we're just living in a world where we don't feel accepted. We don't feel appreciated. We feel like everything's one-sided, and we feel very much misunderstood, and that we're not regular people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just like weird, you know, like everybody in this planet has to be a social person. Now, it is important to have social relationships. It is important to have people skills. I'm not saying that it's not important, but you don't have to be like that all the time, is what I'm saying. And a lot of the time, some introverts may be like that all the time. And it is what it is. Majority of the times, it's okay to be silent. It's okay to not have to say so much. It's okay to observe. It's okay to not want to talk to your coworkers or talk to your classmates or even your family sometimes. Like, it's okay. Because if you don't, it's just like, are you really like learning who you are as a person? Are you really sitting with yourself? Because I feel like I had to do that. I had to have that moment I had to have those moments to sit with myself in order to learn who I am as a person. And also with me transitioning from an introvert to an antisocial extrovert, I realized that when I say human interaction is important, I think it is important. I think it is needed. And I've been in situations in life, I've been in points in life where I was very, very isolated. And I mean very, very isolated. I had no friends, I moved away from home, and I was a military wife. My husband would be deployed or on underway. And of course, you know, if y'all don't know how that is, the wife don't go nowhere but, you know, either back at home to her home state or at home in the house that they move to, you know, if they're not, you know, in their hometown. At first, you know, when it first begins, it's cool. It's smooth sailing. You know, I enjoy the quiet. I enjoy the solitude. Okay, I enjoyed it at first. Like, between every underway, every deployment, there were times that I did go home. But I'm just saying, when I was here by myself or wherever I was by myself, I did enjoy the solitude. However, after a while, you know, it does get isolating, especially, you know, I moved place to place and I didn't have friends all the time, okay? So I started to feel more and more depressed. Like, I started to actually feel depressed. I really started to hate my life because I did try to make friends with people, and though, like a lot of people were just weird. Like people just, got stood up a couple times, got cut off a couple times, got flaked out on a lot of times. And so I was very much alone a lot of the time, and it made me feel very depressed and sad and just like, damn, like I just need somebody. And it's weird because it doesn't hit like calling up my mom or dad. Like it does help, but when I have nobody like here with me, it's completely different. Like being on the phone, like being on your cellular device is not fulfilling to me. Like interacting with people online or through text message, through telephone number, it's just not fulfilling to me. So just not having in-person interaction is what was really upsetting me. Like not being able to have friends to go out with, or I go out by myself and then I get like attention that I don't want. And as a woman, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like I go out and I get attention that I don't want. You know, in hopes that I can find a friend, but at the same time, I don't know how to start conversations. Like it's hard for me to just like go up to a stranger and make friends. So that's when I realized, like, okay, I actually do crave human interaction. I actually do crave connection. Obviously, yes, I'm in a marriage, so I do, and I'm around this person every single day. But as an introvert, you're only used to the people that you're around every single day. And even sometimes being around those people can be a little too much. Like, I even want isolation from my husband at times. Like, sometimes I want my space. Like, y'all know what I mean. So, I was at a point where I just thought, like, I didn't need people. I didn't need people. Like, I wasn't fulfilled by having a lot of people in my life or having human interaction. Like, it didn't do nothing for me at some point in my life. And so realizing that I actually do crave human interaction, I do crave a social life and stuff like that, that's when I realized, like, okay, I don't want to be so isolated. I don't want to be so introverted. Like, I do want to have relationships with people. So I started to get on Facebook groups, like go on Facebook groups about girls, trying to look for friends in whatever city that they're in. I'm pretty sure every state has like those type of groups on Facebook. And that is risky, but I make sure I do FaceTime and stuff like that before I meet people. So I started doing things like that. I started to make friends over time. Eventually, I ended up making friends, and I only have a few, like maybe like 2 or 3 friends, and that's okay. As long as I have some type of like social interactions with people, like people that I can call up and be like, hey, let's go here, or hey, what's up, how you doing? Stuff like that. Like, it feels better than not having any friends at all, or not having anybody to talk to or whatever. And it's like when I used to have friends, like when I was back at home before, I ended up moving. I would go out with them all the time, to the point where it was draining, and it was like, okay, I don't want to go out to the club for the third time. But it was fun. Like, it was like one of those moments where you're young and you having fun, and it's just like, it was fun to me. Like, I had a great time, like I enjoyed that moment in my life where I was always with people and stuff like that. And I still crave it, at times, which is why, even back then I realized, like, I did like being around people. I did like, having friendships. I was just participating in the wrong friendships. But yes, I like people to a certain extent. And I honestly don't know if maybe I was like a narcissist or something. And I'm only saying that because, like, I just felt no human emotion, not in a like psychotic way, but I guess I just didn't feel anything from people, like, as much as I do now. And then, like, as the older I guess the more serious life gets, the more empathetic I am towards people, the more patient and understanding I am towards people. And that's when I knew, like, okay, maybe, I don't have, like, that I'm not that antisocial. Maybe I'm, I do crave to be around people. And I do want to do good for my community. Like, I want to be, like, I am. I've always been a kind person, but kindness and being the best person I could be is very important to me. It's very important to be personable and to hear people out and to understand that we're all different and stuff like that. And it's okay to do that. And a lot of people don't have that capacity to be that type of person. And like once I started to realize like that I have some capacity, I have some empathy, you know, I have more understanding and patience, and realizing that not all people are bad and I don't have to be so comfortable all the time. That's when I realized like maybe I'm not as antisocial. However, me being somewhat introverted, being an antisocial extrovert, I still go through my things. I still, have my issue. I had issues with, people, especially in the workplace. And if y'all want me to do a video about what it's like being an introvert in the workplace, especially in all types of workplaces like restaurants, um, retail, anything like that, I can do a video about that if y'all want me to. But sales is like the worst, like the worst job for an introvert. I'm sorry, it really is. Like, and I'm gonna explain why. Like some sales jobs, they will, when you're training, they will teach you a certain approach, certain scripts on how to approach customers, or it's a certain pitch. Exactly. Okay, so most places they teach you some type of pitch on how you get your customers in, and it's different for everybody. Like everybody has some different pitch. And as an introvert, as somebody who, like I said, is not somebody who's not that good at conversation all the time and doesn't know what to say to people and stuff like that, or you get like anxious or you get anxiety, like social anxiety, right? Because it's like a certain pressure to be perfect when having sales jobs. Like you want to make the sale, so you got to try to sound convincing as possible. And it took me a while to like, it takes a lot of self-confidence and just self-awareness to be a salesperson. Like you have to know, that you got it. Like you have to believe in your power to be a salesperson. Like, it's a certain type of person that can do stuff like that. Yes, being attractive is one thing, but being presentable, how you present yourself and how you introduce things to people and stuff like that is also important. And I didn't have that like that. Like, I'm not saying I was bad at sales, because I did have my moments where I was like top 3, top person, like top salesperson or whatever. But a lot of times when you're working a sales job, you have to compete with your coworkers. And there's those coworkers that kind of run all over, like, that are kind of like bullies on the sales floor, okay? I dealt with stuff like that, where they'll kind of like always gotta be the first one to like brush up in front of you, or be the first one to talk to the customer, and then get mad at you if you even try to talk to the customer, because you were, because a lot of times it was like I was saying something, like a customer would come in and I would just, word comes out, boom, hi, how you doing, like, and it's just like, okay, it's over for me. It's over for me. It's over for me. Like, I have to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that would happen to me a lot in sales jobs, right? And I absolutely hated it. So my last recent job, like the job that I just left, okay, the adult entertainment store, it was a commission job. Like it was hourly, but it was commission, right? And so a couple of months, I've won top salesperson. I was known as that person that was making the bread, okay? And my coworkers, of course, knew about it because I haven't even worked there a year. And so, of course, in the beginning, everything's cool when people don't expect you to be that person to reel them customers in and to make that money. When you're new and you're coming in, you're not a threat, okay? But, once they see that you're starting to make a little progress and you're going a little bit ahead of them, that's when it's a problem, right? And so they would I would be treated differently. People would act weird and funny to me at times, and I didn't know where it was coming from. But of course, being the person that's making all the sales, people are going to feel some type of way. And a lot of people were saying or thinking just because when I make a sale that is not mine, like people think like my sales were mine because when it came to customers and introducing certain products to customers, I was very to the point. I was very direct and I was very much to the point. I was not that type of salesperson that was going to sit there and talk to the customer for an hour unless I really needed to, because yes, I have to show people stuff in order for them to figure out what they want. So I wasn't that salesperson that was just going to be very talkative or hold long conversations because I honestly did not know what to say. And when it comes to an industry like that, when it's involving SCX, right? I don't want to get too personal unless, they open that door for me. And then I could kind of you know what I'm saying? Say more. But I was just very much to the point. Okay, what are you looking for? What size, what color, stuff like that. Not try to say too much. Show them a product that I knew was popular, right? And they would be in and out the door. On to the next person. While the other person is still talking to that customer hours and hours and hours and hours. I'm getting people in and out because I'm just very direct. I'm very to the point. I'm just trying to get through my workday. I'm not trying to hold conversations with people all day. Of course, I'm gonna laugh and joke with people and be a little bubbly, but I just don't do so much because that's just not my personality. And when people think of a salesperson, they think of somebody that's super loud, super outgoing, super bubbly, super overselling things, while I'm just to the point. And that's what it was when it came to my job. And that's why certain people would be mad at me or treat me a certain way or try to sabotage my sales or try to rush in front of me to talk to customers and stuff like that. And with that, I didn't understand it because it's not like I was reeling in every customer or that every customer was for me. It was times where customers did not buy from me or where I didn't convince customers to buy something because maybe I just didn't, have that personality or I didn't word something convincing enough for them. You don't make, as a salesperson, you don't make every sale. You just don't. And there was times where customers would literally, okay? I would try to help them out, right? And they would literally try to get away from me to go buy something from somebody else. Literally, it happens, okay? Just because, like I said, my pitch maybe wasn't right or my approach wasn't right or, I didn't know what to say. And they went to the more outspoken person and that person made the sale. And it is what it is. Those are things you go through as an introvert where people just think, one, if you're making the sales, you're not doing the work because you're just direct and you get to the point. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. They're just looking for somebody who can just get to the point. Nobody wants to be oversold something. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't do that. So I was just accused of hogging sales or taking sales that weren't mine, or trying to just take, not let anybody make any money when that wasn't the case. And when it came down to it, when somebody would literally try to take something from me, yes, I would say something. I would speak up, because it's like, I'm not taking no shit. Like, that's my money. You're not gonna fuck with my money because you're jealous. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that explains my personality. Hopefully y'all understand me as a person. I mean, if you're gonna watch me, you gotta know who I am as a person, right? Like, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. I forgot my whole intro, the whole if you don't subscribe you whack. Well, if you don't subscribe you whack. But yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. I post every week, every Tuesday to be exact. And I'll see you later.